three main things to start with learning a language, that I'm going to say are the three most important things you can do. Number one is immerse yourself in the language. Listen, 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 listen. If you're not in a place where the language is spoken, there's tons of online resources. Listen, 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 listen. Number two, it can go in either order, but number two, don't focus on grammar. And I'd say for grammar, limit yourself to like the travel dictionary and phrase book from Lonely Planet for your language. A lot of languages are available in that. I'd say like limit that to your grammar. Don't do much. Sorry, there's kids walking by. It's really distracting. Yeah, so limit yourself to the Lonely Planet phrase book and dictionary for grammar. And then the third thing is find 1,000-word A1 intro kids, or like A1 or intro or kids vocabulary list with sentences, and make flashcards of those sentences, and then pick some of the most commonly used sentences like I believe, I am, I love, I like, do you want to, some of those things. And I'll talk more about like how to use those flashcards, but find a phrase book, or not a phrase book, sorry, find a dictionary of some sort. I recommend the Berlitz Kids Picture Dictionary, or an A1 1,000-word list, vocab list with sentences. Like Google that on YouTube that. There you go. And so I'm gonna talk a little bit more about those. And those are my three, like, start there. If you do those things, if you master those three resources, you are going to get so far. And then also I use Duolingo. I didn't say this in actually I didn't explain it. I have a love-hate relationship with Duolingo and any app. But I use Duolingo in my like off days. So the days that I'm not studying Italian, I'm doing Italian on Duolingo. Tuesdays and then weekends, I'm doing other languages, Hindi and sign language on Tuesdays, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I'm doing Italian. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm doing Italian. Friday day and the night could be another language. But yeah, so Duolingo on my days off. I do not count Duolingo as my study time, even though yeah. So anyways, there you go. Those three resources are the first, like, if you master those, you will, like, yeah, that's all you need. And that's not really all you need, but if you if you can understand and comprehend and read and speak 1,000 sentences, you're doing pretty good, right? So anyways, there you go. I'll talk a little bit more about how to use those and what I do with them, but there you go. Okay, here we go. Hey, okay, so I just did an Italian update. 16 days in. If you're curious how it's going, 16 days in, so we're just beginning. All right, but I've been talking to people about like kind of creating a lesson plan for learning languages. And so the biggest step that I've started with, and I've kind of told you guys about, sentence mining. I have a video that actually maybe I'll do a separate video on sentence mining again. But so the biggest thing I'm going to say to start with is immersion. Like, immerse yourself in the language as much as you can. And then so as far as like so like I've been listening to videos in Italian. Not everything's been Italian, but a couple videos a day in Italian when I'm sewing, or like if we're playing out in the yard, we might do music, Hindi, or Italian, Hindi too. I'm doing it Hindi as well, with the little one more so, but like we might do Italian music, or we've been listening to, I'm reading the book of Matthew in the Bible out loud to my little one. Well, yeah, I let him play around. It's my personal study, but he's around. And then we've been listening to the Bible in Italian, the same book in Italian, and he's been around for most of that. So I am okay with him listening to scripture and like me being on my phone, like listening to audio Bible, but we don't do other phone stuff. So anyways, so immerse yourself however you can. If you can find something that you like, it's Italy Made Easy, I think it is. YouTube channel has an immersion playlist that you can go to and find videos on there too that you're interested in. And you can go to those YouTube channels and see what they have. I tried it, and the one gal I really liked for art stuff, she only had like one free video, and then you had to subscribe. So it didn't really work for that one. But immerse yourself, immerse yourself, immerse yourself, immerse yourself. That's the first thing. It doesn't matter where you're at, immerse yourself. You can do it. So there's that, number one. Number two, I love the Lonely Planet guidebooks. I would say don't get into grammar when you're starting. Don't get into grammar until you can communicate, is kind of my thing. Like, understand the basics. Like, if you are an English speaker and you've been exposed to Spanish, you've taken Spanish in school, you know the basics of the sentence structure. If you're doing a Romance language and you have the basics of any Romance language, you have the sentence structure. If you speak English, you have the basics of the sentence structure. Like, you can start there. Don't get caught up in the grammar too much. But I would say like the Lonely Planet dictionaries are a good place to start, because there's a little bit of grammar in there, but not too much if you feel like you need to do grammar. I really do like, and the Lonely Planet ones, everyone I have has been under $10. I have 5 of them. Portuguese, Hindi, Italian, French, and Chinese, I believe. And then the Hindi ones are Urdu, Bengali, and Hindi. So I have 5 of them. And all of them, they can be like $2 or $3. So under $10, a great resource. If you are doing Spanish, German, Portuguese, or Spanish, German, French, or Italian, the Berlitz Kids Picture Dictionary is really good. It's 1,000 different phrases. It's either 1,000 phrases or 1,000 words. I can never keep track of which. I think I don't know. But I made all my flashcards from that book, and I've only made it through like letter H, so there's still a ton of space left to use that resource. And I think honestly, if you have one solid resource like that, another thing that you could do is if you Google the language you're studying, the letter A, 1,000 word vocabulary sentence playlist or sentence. There's a lot of them that have that. And so I know that I've found the Spanish, Italian. I guess maybe I've only found the Spanish and Italian ones and sent those to some friends, but I'm using the Italian one, obviously. And it is 1,000 sentences. It's 1,000 words and then a sentence with each word, and it repeats them in Italian and English. And so I've just been listening to that over and over and over again. It's about a 9-hour playlist. So it is a lot of English. I think there's, as I get going, it's more English than I'll want to use eventually. But for now, it's a good amount. And I have screenshot a lot of those to make into flashcards. But again, I have to get through that book and then there. But like if you can learn all 1,000 sentences, which is a ton, that's a lot. I know that. That's going to get you a huge, that's a ton. So those 2 resources, the grammar book, the Lonely Planet phrase book and dictionary, and the Berlitz Kids Dictionary, or an A1 list on YouTube, that's enough resources to get you a long ways. Most languages, I shouldn't say most, a lot of languages do have free, so those are the first 2 things, and then immersion, so 3 things. The grammar book, Lonely Planet grammar book, the Berlitz Kids Picture Dictionary, if those are one of the languages you're working on, or a 1,000-word list, which there'll be other languages for that too, and then immersion. So the 3 main things. And then if you are, and then another thing you could do is find a playlist that is a lesson plan. That is kind of up to you. If you know how you learn better, but there's video series that are lessons, and then also they have, lots of languages have online classes, the Language Pod 101, Hindi Pod, Arabic Pod, Urdu Pod, Portuguese Pod, whichever language you're working on, Language Pod 101. There's a lot of good lessons on there, and you can start with the free ones and do all the free ones, and then you can do the month subscription, the free subscription, and then do the lessons after that. The Language Pod sites are really good. There's a lot of Language Pods resources on YouTube as well. So that's another one that you might know what kind of learner you are. See if that works for you. I think that's another great place to go though, are the Language Pod sites. But the main 3 things, again, I'm gonna still say it: immersion, 1,000-word dictionary or list of some sort that has sentences, and the Lonely Planet grammar book, or something with just basic grammar. Just learn the basic grammar. And so with the 1,000 sentences, so really I would do the sentence mining, or chunking is another good technique, but they're very similar. Sentence mining is where you take the sentences and then noi siamo buoni, and I haven't read these out loud. Noi siamo buoni amiche. You are a good friend. We are good friends. Lei è seduta di fronte a lui. I have no idea what that is. She sits in front of him. So, that'd be a hard one, but I'm going to try it. Noi è seduta di fronte a lui. So I tried to say we sit in front of him. I don't know. Or buoni amici e seduta di fronte a lui. So I tried to do good friend sits in front of him. I have no idea if those are right, but I'm just trying to use the language. And so that's one way to use your flashcards. Another thing you can do, I don't think I have a sample with me, but is pick a sentence that is something that you would use a lot. So I have, I am, you are, we go, I would like, I want, I believe. I believe because I like to talk about beliefs and religions and philosophy and all those things. But sentences that are common ones. I would like to go. I would like to do. If you start memorize those, and then you can make a vocabulary list of words that fit into that sentence, and you can learn all of those sentences. So if you have one sentence, then you can learn 10 sentences with those vocabulary changes. I prefer this method, but that one is also a really good one. And I think I'll do that with some of those really common ones. So I'd say like 10 of those, 30 of your just sentences, and start there. Like just learn those, learn them. And like your 10 grammar rules, or like your just basic grammar rules. And you can do them on a flashcard if you want to. I have them on flashcards, but I'm not memorizing grammar because I think translating in your head is one of the worst things you can do. In my opinion, especially if you long-term want to learn language. If your goal is just to get by for a week or two, then that's fine. Yeah, so there you go. I think those are kind of the three tips. I'm gonna start with those three things. Do those. And that, like really, if you get, and I think too, it's affordable because like one book is 2 books are affordable if you can do it. If you only do the one book, if you can't do any books, I did Hindi free online in Laramie, Wyoming. There's plenty of free resources. The Peace Corps has free resources for like hundreds of languages. I don't remember how to get to them, but find me online and I will help you find the language you're working on. Also, there's a couple like Christian, like the Bible, a lot of languages that didn't have alphabets for a long time. Missionaries started them. So like the Bible and the book of Mark, I believe, is in a lot of languages. And then there's also other Bible resources. I think so like the Bible is the #1 most translated material. I think Harry Potter's second. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, I've never read it. I don't know it, so it wouldn't really be that useful for me to read it in other languages. But like those are kind of the top 2 things I believe. There might be other things translated as much, but yeah, get one of those and just like learn just the resources you have. You do not need to pay much. You don't need to take a class. Unless that's if that's the only way you learn well, okay. But if you didn't do well in high school Spanish classes in the States, I would say don't start with taking a class because if that's not how you learn, like if you don't speak Spanish and you took high school Spanish through 4 years or 2 years or whatever, and you don't speak it, I'm gonna say that's probably not the way that you learn. Just saying. So, okay, those 3 things. Take care. Actually, let me know what languages you're learning below.